You know, when you think about it, the entire global aviation network is basically one enormous, constantly shifting digital jigsaw puzzle. You've got thousands of planes, millions of people, weather that changes in a heartbeat, all these moving parts. So who's the person on the ground putting it all together? The one who makes sure every single flight is safe, legal, and efficient. Well, that person is the flight dispatcher. And honestly, their job is one of the best-kept secrets in the industry.
People in the biz have a name for them: the captain on the ground. And that's not just some cool-sounding nickname, you know? It perfectly sums up the authority and the incredible responsibility they have. It's truly one of the most critical and most overlooked roles in all of aviation.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll dig into what the job actually is, and this is the cool part, why your skills in management are probably a perfect fit. Then we'll look at where you'd work, what the career path looks like, and finally, the exact steps to get you there.
Okay, let's start with the big question. This captain on the ground, what do they really do all day?
The official definition has a phrase in it that is everything: joint responsibility. See, this isn't just someone giving advice. The dispatcher and the pilot share legal accountability for the flight. It's a genuine partnership. A decision made in the control center carries the exact same weight as one made at 35,000 feet.
So on a normal day, a dispatcher is basically a master of logistics. They're building flight plans from scratch, calculating the absolute perfect amount of fuel, and diving deep into weather data to pick the safest route. And listen, once the plan is up in the air, their job is far from over. They're watching that flight like a hawk, ready to reroute it around a sudden storm or get critical new info to the crew at a moment's notice.
But the real test? That comes when things go wrong. I mean, really wrong. Just imagine for a second that your entire warehouse management system or call routing software crashes flat during your busiest season. That's pretty much what happened to Southwest and Delta. Dispatchers had to fall back on manual planning for hundreds of flights, all while under unbelievable pressure. That's where they really earn their stripes, making these huge decisions when all the tech fails.
And that ability to handle the pressure, that's exactly why we need to talk about this next part. Because if you've ever managed a busy warehouse, a call center, or a distribution network, you might be shocked to realize that you already have the core DNA for this job. Let's really connect these dots.
So look, the skills are basically identical. You do system-wide planning to get packages out on time, they do it for airplanes. You have to manage a blizzard that's messing with your whole delivery fleet, they have to manage a massive thunderstorm complex building over the Rockies. That knack you have for solving complex problems with an eye for every little detail and for staying cool when everyone else is panicking, that's not just a management skill, that is the DNA of a flight dispatcher.
Okay, so you've got the skills, but where would you actually be using them? Let's just say the work environment is a major upgrade from a chaotic warehouse floor or a noisy call center. Think less organized chaos and way more mission control. You'd be working in what's called the Operations Control Center, or the OCC. And it is the absolute nerve center of the entire airline. The comparison to NASA's mission control isn't an exaggeration. It's a super high-tech, high-stakes room where every single person is laser-focused on one thing: running the airline safely and on time. And these are the kinds of tools you'd have at your fingertips. We're not talking about spreadsheets and basic office software here. This is a highly specialized professional toolkit. You've got sophisticated flight planning systems like Lido and Sabre, live weather radar feeds, integrated communication systems. Every tool is custom-built for this incredibly precise and critical job.
All right, the job is fascinating, and your skills are a perfect match. But let's get practical for a minute. What about the actual career path? And, of course, what can you expect to get paid?
The great thing is the path is super clear. You'll usually start out as an assistant dispatcher while you're getting your certification. Then you move up to a fully licensed dispatcher. From there, you can climb the ladder to a senior role, and eventually you can even move into management as a chief dispatcher or manager of flight operations. It's a real structured career that rewards your experience.
And the pay absolutely reflects the responsibility you have. Now, starting salaries are usually around $50K, but once you get some experience under your belt, dispatchers at the major U.S. airlines can make up to $120,000 a year. And that's not even counting the benefits, like travel perks. It's a really solid living for a job this important.
So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, this sounds like it could be for me, what does it actually take to make that jump? Let's break down the final actionable steps.
Honestly, the requirements are pretty straightforward. You just need a high school diploma to get started. The big piece of the puzzle is earning the FAA Aircraft Dispatcher Certificate. That involves about 200 hours of classroom instruction, Think of it like a super-focused professional boot camp. And then you have to pass both written and practical exams. It's definitely intensive, but it's a very clear, manageable path into a whole new career.
So we end on this question. If you stop thinking about aviation as just travel and start seeing it for what it is, the world's most critical, most time-sensitive logistics network, it kind of changes everything, doesn't it? The skills you spent years honing, managing incredibly complex operations on the ground, are the exact skills needed to solve this incredible puzzle in the sky. The only real question left is, are you ready to take the controls?